Welcome back to WJZ at 9. And let's welcome Sarah Dansberger to WJZ at 9. You basically run the library and archives of the BMA.
That's correct.
There are 90, listen to this, folks. Listen to this. Normally you think of the BMA, you think of great art, you think of the sculpture garden, you think of this, you think of that. But you don't think of a library containing how many volumes?
97,000 and growing.
97,000. People from around the world come to Baltimore to come to this library.
That's correct. We have researchers, scholars, art students, students who are learning to be art historians come here and make use of our books.
Until I said before the break, I was talking to the PR maven of the BMA, Mannix Brown, about a story we're going to present tomorrow, and Ann said, well, yeah, I'm going to make it happen for you, but you know we also have a library. 97,000 books, and some of these are rare.
That's right. We have books going all the way back to the 1700s.
Which is pretty amazing, because when you think of all the great works of art in the BMA, you don't realize that the history of art is within the walls of this building, and it's now classified and categorized in this room.
That's right.
That is pretty amazing. You have an online presence, too.
That's right. You can see our online catalog if you go to artbma.org, where you can read all about the books that we have in our collection.
And you know, I'm looking at this, I'm going, we're in the BMA, it looks like we're in a library, because, I mean, they're sitting chairs, they're reading chairs, because we are, and I'm looking behind K2, and I can see the actual building, the beautiful facade of the BMA. What a contradiction here, this modern library, and that on the other side of that wall.
That's right, and we renovated our library in 2023. So the last renovation that we had was in 1984, and we did a full gut renovation of the library.
Crazy. It's absolutely crazy. This is, K2 and I like to say it, this is like a diamond in our own backyard, and we're finally able to see it. And by the way, coming up next half hour, you pulled out one of the rarest documents you have here for our audience to see, so you all stay tuned. We're going to blow your mind. I promise you that. Rachel, you take it away. What you got going? Welcome back to WJZ at 9. As far as I know, no local TV news camera's been where we have been this morning, and in this room in particular, we're in the conservation lab. Ann Schaefer and Lauren Phillips, you're conservators.
We are. Me too.
And what is a conservator?
A conservator takes care of all of the art in the collection of the museum. So every painting you see on view has come through this lab for me and Lauren to look at it before it goes onto the walls.
I mean, I'm standing here looking at you, and right there is the game ball. That's not a poster. That's an Henri Matisse. That's one of his most famous works, right there.
Yes, correct, it is.
Do you get immune to this after a while? I mean, there it is, like a bowl. There's a bowl of fruit on the table. There's a Matisse.
Not entirely. I think it still has a little bit of a zing to us when we bring paintings like this in the lab, but we're used to handling them for sure.
And there's a huge microscope. You go over the frames. You're looking for hairline cracks. You're looking for any problems.
We are. We need to make sure that all of the art is stable and safe and beautiful before it goes onto the walls.
And you're using, like, you know, fine pieces of equipment to do this. I mean, it looks like a pick and a brush, but those are not.
Correct. So we actually use tools that are used in other industries as well that actually work really well for our purpose. So there's a few dental tools on that table, as well as like bamboo skewers and scalpels. So we expand a few different professions to use them for our profession.
I mean, really, when I just looked over, I thought that looks like my dentist tray.
It is.
But in fact, you're working with material that fragile.
We are. We have to work really fine tools under a microscope. So we're turning to scalpels, to medicine and dentistry to get those tiny tools.
And particularly that microscope K2's looking at.
Correct.
That's a serious piece of equipment.
Yes. So magnification can help us see things that we can't see with the naked eye and see how they behave under magnification as well. So it's a really useful tool for us to use for our treatments.
This is such a treat for K2 and I to be in here, because I've been proposing this story for about 10 years, way before WJZ at 9 was even a glimmer in somebody's eye, and it's come to life. But you like that, K2? You like that? He's laughing. But coming up tomorrow, we're coming back to the BMA. because about 10 years ago, I went to Ann Mannix Brown and said, can we meet the people who hang the pictures? And she looked at me like, have you lost your mind? And I said, no. It took 10 years, but guess what we're going to do tomorrow? You ever hung something or taken care of something on a wall in your home or apartment? You're going to meet the pros who do it at the Baltimore Museum of Art tomorrow. This is epic. Back to TV Hill.
All right, Marty. Thank you for the look. All right.